Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Guess what I am doing today? Out for a hike, and I'm here to review some knives. Like back in the day, when I first started, I did all my reviews in the woods. But that's what I'm gonna do today. So thank you for joining me, and let's get this thing started. So what do I think about this knife? Man, first of all, I'll tell you, I love the size of this knife. It's a great size. I don't have the measurements on me. I think it's like a little over 8 inches. That's my 8¼ inches is my favorite knife size. So anyway, so now that this knife came in and it's got no quality issues with it in terms of blade rock or whatever, you know, the action's awesome. The axis lock is a great lock. You can roll it out, slow roll it, you can flick it, you can reverse thumb it, which I don't do. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed that. I don't do that. You can thumb flick it. It's a fun knife to play with, right? So I like a knife that you can play with. This is excellent in that regard. The axis lock is a strong lock too. This particular knife has no blade rock. It's real sharp. It cuts cardboard like nobody's business, and paper. This M4 steel is a very serious steel. It's a tool steel. You know, it's a coated blade, but you got to watch out for the edge. It could rust on you. So this knife is ergonomic. It is a dream. I mean, it has a beautiful contouring to it. Let's see if you can get beautiful contouring to it. It's red. You know, it's got the red standoffs in there. So it's from stylistically, I don't normally talk about style, but I mean, for me, I like the looks of this knife, the red and the black. I love the shape of it. I love the size of it. I can get all my fingers on it. I like to flick it. I get all my fingers on it. And I got double XL hands, and it fits on there, no problem, right? It's just a great knife. Jimping's not real rough. I don't like real rough jimping. So if you like rough jimping, you're going to be disappointed with this thing. But, you know, my hand falls in the right spot. You know, the blade's a little further away from your finger. There's really not a choke up point on this one. And also this knife has a steel liner, but it only goes down to this screw over here. So one of the things I want to say about this knife is, while I like this knife, and you know, hey, listen, the first video I did of it, I said, man, this knife sucks, because it was an unboxing, and it sucked, right? It had blade rock, it had issues. When I did the unboxing, I said, could I recommend this knife? And I said no. And I certainly could recommend this knife on its own. This knife is amazing, right? It's M4, and if you are okay with a tool steel and don't need stainless, then absolutely, this is a great knife, right? I'm not so crazy about the liner thing, but everybody said that this knife is a hard use knife and it can sustain a lot, right? So I'm going to trust everybody's review. I'm not reviewing that aspect of this knife. It's suspicious to me that the liner only goes down to here. I mean, it's not even on an anchor point. So anyway, so while I would still recommend this knife on its own, we don't live in this world in isolation, right? So this is a knife I would recommend. If you like this knife and this form factor, then you can get this knife, which is the Ritter RSK, what it's called, RK1. That's some stupid name, right? But this is a stainless steel, where this is not. So, you know, the big difference between these knives, besides the price, because this is $100 cheaper, besides the price, is this one's stainless steel, right? And one of the things I like about, let me just compare these knives for a second here. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people being angry with me about this Benchmade. So the point of this video is not to make fun of this knife. It's a great knife. I like it, right? So check this out. I don't know where I was going with this. So this knife is basically the same form and function and size and everything to this knife, to almost perfectly and exact everything, right? Except for the weight. I don't have the weight on me. I'm not doing a weight. You can go on. I see these people with the weight thing, and it's like 3 ounces or 4.5 is too much and 3 is okay. You know what? I mean, that's great. I mean, for me, it's how it fits in my pocket, how it rides in my pocket, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are wearing, but I'm wearing jeans and, and even pants, dress pants, and, a knife is a 6-ounce knife. If it's the right form, it fits fine in my pocket, but that's me. I'm not judging anyone out there. So, but the point is, if you like a knife like this and you were thinking about buying this knife, would I recommend it? Well, I would say no. Give a real serious look at this knife here, especially if you want a stainless steel. So now on my lifestyle is I'm an outdoorsy guy. Like, you see what I'm doing now, and I particularly love walking when it's raining. I don't like camping when it's raining, but I'll walk when it rains all the time. But the point to that is I want a stainless steel. So this knife here, like I said, it's $100 cheaper. It's actually got a better feel in my hand than this one. Yeah, so this Super Freek, while it's amazing in its ergonomics, this one has just slightly better. The G10 is great. I mean, this G10 feels better, it's smoother, it's slicker. I definitely like the G10. If I had to pick again, like I just said, I'd pick this one. Ritter Hogue is just plain Jane, right? This is stylish, so that may be good or bad, right? That's your thing. But I love the feel of G10 in this one. And what I also want to point out, the difference is, it also has a steel liner. I don't know if I'm in the picture, so hopefully, I'm going to duck down, right? It also has a steel liner, but it's attached here and here, right? So I'm not a mechanical guy and whatever, and some people say that this is enough, and don't forget it's attached to G10 right there. It's the only where it's attached. It's attached at the pivot and the G10, where this is attached to the G10, but it's also attached to a standoff, right, that goes through to the other side, so it has a little more rigidity to it. Again, I am not an engineer. This might be for human strength. What you're going to do to a knife on an average basis, this might be good enough. But regardless of that, this is stronger. I feel better that it's $100 cheaper. I feel better that it's stainless, right? I am sometimes considered a crazy person. I will do, whatever. And I particularly like bad weather because people aren't around, right? I just like to do the stuff that I'm doing where there's nobody around. So rain usually keeps a lot of people away, especially in the South. So this is a great, stainless steel knife. You don't need to flick it like I just did, but a little dramatic, right? Check that out. Bam. The problem with this knife here for me is, if you're gonna go away for a week or 2 weeks and be out in the humidity with the dew and riding a motorcycle in the rain or whatever, camping, and you don't want to bring this knife on. You're gonna be doing maintenance on it, and plus you can't use it for food prep if you're oiling it, or it's just more maintenance, right? This you got to just think about what you're doing. This you don't think about nothing, right? It is 20 CV. This knife comes in super sharp, just like that one. So they're both super sharp. The blades are pretty much the same. The thickness is pretty much the same. I think this actually has the Ritter Hogue actually has a better tip, a thicker tip to it. But I'm not measuring it. I'm just visually looking at it. But yeah, certainly it gets fatter quicker. Difference between these two knives is $100 cheaper and stainless. For me, that's what's important to me. So anyway, to finish up the review of this knife, Benchmade, great knife, right? Great size. Hard steel, if that's what you need, right? And you're not worried about stainlessness. Great steel. Go ahead and use the heck out of this. It's a hard use knife. I hear, everybody said that. It's on washers, so you don't have to worry about gunk getting in there. The ergonomics on it is amazing. And if you don't have a sharpen a knife or whatever, you can send this back in. And they're a great company in that regard, right? You lose your pocket clip. I think replace the pocket clip and sharpen it, you know, send it in for sharpening if you didn't want to sharpen it yourself, if you use it that much, right? So if you're a hard use guy and you're using your knife like crazy, then I would definitely suggest this over this. And especially if you're not worried about the rust, right? Because you're going to get that warranty work. You're going to pay, you know, you're going to pay $100 for it, but I think you're going to get that back right away, right? I mean, it's got to cost, I mean, who's working for, you know, $40 now, right? I mean, it's got to cost you $100. I figure, I don't know. Anyway, was that interesting? The point to this at the end of the day is, I hope you guys don't get, you know, my goal here is not to say to upset Super Freek guys, right? It's a great knife. Great knife. My goal is to say, to give a knife review, my opinion. I happen to think they're the same, right? Quite honestly, other than, you know, cosmetics and, you know, the things I talked about, right? So when I'm reviewing it, I'm going to say to you, yeah, but maybe, yeah, you know what I mean? All right. Thanks a lot for watching me. Hope that was interesting. Talk to you later. Bye.